The social contract describes a broad class of theories that try to explain the ways in which people form states and maintain social order. This notion implies that the people give up some rights to a government or other authority in order to receive or maintain social order. It is from this starting point that formed the theoretical groundwork of democracy. Ideally, when people agree to give up part of their freedom to a government in exchange for protection of natural rights, it is the government's duty to ensure that justice is dispensed without favor or delay across all its demographics. Justice delayed is justice denied. This is a phrase that is too common among the Kenyan population that the citizenry are used to it becoming a part of their lives. The Kenyan justice system is clogged with cases, the point that getting a hearing on time is a boon for a few who have the money and connection to tweak it to their advantage. This is further compounded by the fact that the courts are understaffed and Parliament is either unable or slow in formulating laws or amendments that should vent out some of these cases. This is a crisis that is spiraling towards meltdown proportions, and the justice seekers are left but to wonder who will come to their aid.
You would notice that officers who have turned out to torture people would want to quote a provision in the Prisons Act that allows them to do that. And that's why I was calling it a cake, because even though this person has been educated in human rights, they are running to a provision in law that is still a cake to justify what they've done.
Police are still topping the list of leading perpetrators of torture in the country's penal institutions. A report released by Legal Resource Foundation says the practice is most rampant in police stations, remand cells and chief camps.
Enter the Legal Resources Foundation Trust, an independent Kenyan-based human rights organization. The foundation, fondly referred to it by its acronym LRF, was established to promote access to justice through human rights education, research, and policy advocacy initiatives. It began its operations in October 1993 under the name Rights Awareness Program, RAP, and in 1994 it changed its name to Legal Resources Foundation, LRF. In August 2000, LRF was registered as a trust. LRF's mission is to be a resource for justice for the poor, marginalized, and vulnerable through participatory interventions and mutual partnerships. Guided by its motto, Haki Itawale, LRF envisages a Kenya which is just and equitable, where everyone, including the poor and marginalized, are able to access justice and full realization of their rights.
We have Kenyans who are illiterate, they are poor. Poverty has caused them not to be able to afford legal representation, and illiteracy also means that they are not able to engage the court effectively due to lack of information or ignorance.
This is aimed at promoting human rights awareness and rule of law in Kenya. LRF is a brand name that is respected for its effectiveness and efficiency in program delivery and sensitivity to the excluded. LRF is founded on a history of social inclusion, sound institutional systems, procedures, and structures. LRF is managed through a board of trustees headed by the chair and the secretariat, which runs the day-to-day affairs.
We have diverse members bringing on board different skills, different knowledge, different experiences and different outlooks, and I think most importantly all of them are keen and very, very keen to expand the democratic space in this country.
I chair the Finance and Audit Committee on the board, and I help the board generally on financial issues in terms of consultations and advice wherever necessary.
LRF focuses on 5 thematic areas in its programming, popularly known as ARISE. The strategic objectives are to undertake programmatic interventions through advocacy, networking, and partnerships in the administration of justice, to to conduct and improve organizational programming on action research on topical access to justice issues, to advocate, create awareness, and mobilize various communities on their civic rights and responsibilities, to develop a sustainable institution for training on access to justice through advocacy and referral, and to develop the capacity of staff and the board to deliver services and monitor program implementation. These strategic objectives are implemented through 5 thematic areas: research and development, governance, administration of justice, advocacy and outreach, and institutional development.
We carry out research, evidence-based research, research that is aimed at first to inform the interventions that we undertake as an institution. Also, the research we carry out sometimes are meant to provoke the debates around the society.
Before research was being outsourced, we used to outsource for people to come and do the data collection, the data processing, and even to research, to design the researches. But currently we are doing it in-house. We have built our capacity. We have personnel who are now competent to undertake research, to undertake data collection, and even to do the reports.
This program aims to boost and inform all the programmatic interventions and key policy advocacy issues. This program is also the flagship in strengthening the information management and continuous learning to improve on information sharing and documentation. To ensure a wider reach and penetration, LRF has trained many paralegal officers based in both the community and prisons. The prison's paralegal conduct regular training campaigns in the remand homes, prisons, and police stations by educating the suspects and convicts about their basic legal rights and on how to self-represent themselves.
The Administration of Justice program, which has 2 projects, that is the Penal Reform Project and the Judicial Participation Project. Basically, we target remand prisoners because we find they are poor. Most of them are not able to hire advocates, and so they have to be empowered so that they are able to engage the justice system. What we're trying to do is to promote effectiveness in coordination among the stakeholders in the justice system, and also enhancing the dispensation of justice for poor litigants.
Well, to tell us more about this issue, we have Jedida Wakonyo, who works with the Legal Resources Foundation. Welcome, Jedida, and do tell us a bit more about what it is that your NGO does in relation to the prisons issue.
Legal Resources Foundation is a human rights organization having a program on human rights education in the prisons, where we have paralegal officers working in the prison on a daily basis with the remanded, teaching them how to engage with the justice system so that they may be able to self-represent themselves and also to gain confidence while engaging with the justice system.
Okay, so you actually go into the prisons every day?
Yes, you'll have a paralegal from 8 to 5 in, for example, Nairobi Industrial Area Remand Prison, working with the remanded who are not yet convicted to help them understand the trial process in terms of how do they manage their case in court, because they cannot afford a lawyer, neither can they afford bail.
This program also encourages the formation of access to justice committees, popularly known as court users committees, to enable all the administration of justice actors like the police, judiciary, probation officers, and prisons communicate, coordinate, and complement each other in facilitating access to justice.
We have stakeholders in the criminal justice system who are not talking to each other, and yet they serve the same client, that is people who are undergoing the trial process. They are not able to discuss issues and find practical solution among themselves. So that's a big challenge in